Hi, I'm Jada Underwood, and we will be discussing Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development, the conservation task. Um, so, according to Piaget, children between ages 2 and 7 are in this so-called pre-operational stage. I'm sorry. So during this stage, they're learning to use language and symbols, but the logic is what they're struggling with. So thinking logically is where these specific age group of children struggle. He specifically believed that during this stage, children can't understand that quantity remains the same even when the appearance changes. So we have three different examples within this video exhibiting that. And I was working with a 5-year old, and I will call him Todd just for privacy safety. His parents were there, or his parent was there. We wanted to do it in a public setting, just so there could be some monitoring. But there are three different examples that we explored, one dealing with water, one dealing with jelly beans, and one dealing with chocolate. I will say that the chocolate was a little harder just because we couldn't split it that well. But um, at the beginning of each of these, there is this thought, there is this idea of we're allowing him to say, are these equal? And I just want you guys to watch. So for me, let's go ahead and watch, then I'll explain. All right. Do these two have the same amount of water in them? No. Which one has more? Here we have 2 cups. This one? This one has more? Okay, good job. All right. So if I pour this exactly one the same in here, now which one has more? Or are they the same? This one has more? Why does this one have more? Huh? Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Which one do you want? Which one has more to you? Which one? This one or this one? This one has more. Okay, let's try this. So now we're scooting and moving apart. We did count because maybe children do. All right. So once you count, now which one has more? This one or this one? Point to it. Touch it. This one has more. Okay. Why does that one have more? Okay, now what? What about this? Which one has more now? This one or this one? Touch it. This one has more. Okay. Chocolate bar. Yummy. All right, we have to share the chocolate bar, okay? You ready? We're going to share it. See if I can share it correctly. Which is one bigger than the other? Which one's bigger? Which one's smaller? Or are they the same? Is this bigger or smaller? This one's smaller than this one. Good job. Which one do you want? The bigger one or the smaller one? Smaller. You want the smaller one? Okay, which one's smaller? Smaller. This one's smaller? So I just want to interpret. So you want this one smaller? Or do you want this one? The opposite one. You want this one? Why? All right. Do these two have the same amount of water in them? I'm going to reflect on this because obviously there was a lot to kind of look back on. So when we go back to the water, they started off even. Both glasses were even. And I think this kind of shows, even at this stage, that it's kind of hard for some children to identify that even the cups at the beginning were even. So definitely when we switch the cups over to a smaller glass and a larger glass, you know, the subject still struggled with identifying which one was bigger and which one was smaller. Again, moving on to the jelly beans, right? I counted out the jelly beans just so I can save the trouble of maybe the subject couldn't count and didn't understand numbers, right? But to understand that I'm saying the same number, five, twice, right? Hopefully that would symbolize something being equal, right? And that still didn't really symbolize him understanding that both of the lines of jelly beans were equal. The chocolate was a little bit different, hard to split, and so we did end up breaking up the chocolate and keeping one piece whole. And if you heard within his responses, it sounded like he was in the right path, symbolizing which one was bigger and smaller initially when he said that the one that wasn't broken was bigger, right? But then he chose to have the bigger, he wanted the bigger chocolate, which was the one broken up. So again, it wasn't very accurate. It kind of seemed like he was really just influenced by the candy, honestly, but it definitely showed this idea that these children don't really develop logic, and their thinking is really influenced by how things look. I don't really know what goes on through their heads, but their thinking is more so influenced on how things look rather than really understanding that the quantity is remaining the same, right? And that each piece of whatever we had was exactly the same. Moving on to the faith component, I know we're running out of time. And so, from a faith perspective, honestly, I don't think there was too much within this observation. The only thing that came to mind for me was um, just this idea of how God developed, how God, um, his reflection of development is through growth and understanding, right? Children are gradually learning, slowly learning, and it's a tough and long process. But I think it teaches us to kind of look deeper and see that sometimes the truth, um, even though things seem obvious, right? It's not always as obvious as things look. Um, and that as adults, we can truly help students or children grow cognitively, but we have to be patient. We have to be curious. We have to be open to their thinking, because sometimes it's sporadic. Sometimes it's not logic. But I think encouraging them, and that's what I got a lot of out from this, is just encouragement, right? And then just taking the time to teach our youth and our children, and helping them grow into the next stage of concrete operational stages from that ages 7 to 11. So really being intentional regarding students' growth and development, or sorry, children's growth and development. And lastly, these are my references. And so thank you.